All right, so we're live again. I'm gonna talk a little bit quieter because I don't want to wake people up. It's like 2 in the morning, but I'm gonna push it a little bit because I got behind by about 6 hours yesterday, and so at minimum, I want to get 2 thumbnails done today. Tomorrow, I want to get like 8 done. That's my goal. We'll see. But I'm pretty excited. So we finished on the last stream the thumbnail for page 1 of Not Death But Love, which is kind of cool. And let's talk about who I am real quick. I'm going to try to do it in under a minute. So I'm Joshua Kemble, professional artist. I've been an art director for about 8 years. Also, let me know if you're watching live if you can hear me, because I definitely am going to talk a little lower. Hopefully the volume's coming okay. So I've been a professional art director for about 8 years. I am have been a professional cartoonist, graphic designer for over 15 years, and I do comic books, and I like doing comic books. And I've done 2 graphic novels. This one's coming out in June. It's called Jacob's Apartment. It is a comic that, if you like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind or Ghost World and slice of life books like that, you really should check it out and request it from your local bookstore. Pretty much available at bookstores everywhere. So if you go into a bookstore, you can request this. You can also pre-order it at Graphic Moondy's website. It is a story about the questions that can shake even the strongest of faith. Okay, now we're going to try to do the other pitch real quick, and then we'll get into thumbnailing. 2 stories. Book 1, my graphic novel, autobiographical, about faith and mental illness, about my journey dealing with depression and also caregiving for somebody with panic disorder, and talks about my childhood, growing up as a geek and cosplaying at Christian schools before cosplaying was a thing, as like Indiana Jones for a year, all sorts of fun stuff like that. Both of these books are for like 16 and older. They're slice of life books. This one you can order on Amazon and have it delivered to you immediately. If you have Amazon Prime, it's free, which is really exciting. So that's my wares. Now let's get into the fun stuff. And this is going to be interesting. See if anybody shows up, because I'm streaming at like 2 in the morning. Ooh, and my back hurts a little bit. So I'm a little rusty on the thumbnail thing because I've been doing final pages for like 25 pages for 2 Stories Book 2. But now I need to kind of switch gears and go to this historical fiction book that my sister wrote called Not Death But Love. Let me see if I can read this till I memorize it. The Strange Supernatural Story of Elizabeth Barrett Browning. It's a really cool script that talks about Elizabeth Barrett Browning and some strange supernatural stuff. So I thumbnailed, I did some research, figured out some stuff, and now we're working on page 4. So that's what we're going to be working on as we speak. And let's see. Okay. So let's get to the window, and I'll kind of explain how this works real quick. Here it is. Okay. Ooh. I don't know what's going on with that. That's not good. Hold on a second. Let me make sure that this is properly going to the right thing. There we go. Now we're all set. Okay, so basically, as I'm thumbnailing these pages, we have script down here, and then here we have the pages that I'm thumbnailing. That's the page that we finished on the stream. Again, thumbnails. I'm doing them a little tighter so I get an idea of like the lighting. Try to get a lot of the research out of the way so that when it comes to doing finals, I can just worry about like drawing and inking, and eventually, once I have all black and white pages, coloring with flat color. Okay, and just to kind of put this in perspective, what I'm taking on here is I have 365 days to try to do 234 pages. So that's the graphic novel that I'm trying to take on top of a full-time job and a long commute. So I have a lot of work to do and literally no weekends for the next year, which is why I was saying I need to up my speed a little bit on thumbnails. This first one, I probably spent a little too much time. But again, first time doing historical fiction, I was kind of surprised and intrigued by like how much research to do this right it takes. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. I don't know why this page is lagging. Okay, so we have our costume. I need to do a little bit of research now. So much like our first stream where I was doing thumbnails, I need to do some research here. So let's start out by reading the script, and I'm going to kind of go through it. And then here's the fun little interactive part, although this is 2 a.m, so maybe I won't have as much interaction. I'm going to basically do some research and find references. So that's the first part. So first I'm going to like try to intellectually like break down from script to thumbnails. Script to thumbnails. That's what I'm going to try to break down. So this says, far beneath the surface of the water, Bro sinks, arms and legs flailing. He exhales his last breath in a cloud of bubbles. So we got to break this down by action. This is how I break down a script to a comic book page. So far beneath the surface of the water, Bro sinks, arms and legs flailing. This is arms and legs flailing is going to have to be, that could be 2 actions. Already I have some clear ideas. One is these panels are going to be tall. I actually have done an underwater drowning scene. So let me, well, not drowning, but like a swimming scene. That's in Jacob's apartment. She's having a dream about being underwater. And I made the panels like long and thin, right? Like really tall panels. Vertical, not horizontal. So that's probably the method I'm going to do for this, is try to kind of do that. So, and I'm a little tired, so we're going to work this out. But this thumbnail should literally take, I'm guessing, an hour. You can 3 hours from now make fun of me for saying it's going to take an hour. Far beneath the surface of the water, Bro sinks, arms and legs failing. That's going to be a flailing. That's going to be one long, tall panel. He exhales his last breath. You know what? Let's do our quick. I'm going to do a quick like thumb. Because my thumbnails are kind of like, I don't know. They're more like roughs than thumbnails. I shouldn't be calling them thumbnails. These are more like roughs. Okay, so we're going to do a thumbnail real quick. Okay, thumbnails are weird. And to me, they don't have to be perfect. And they really are just like a silly idea. So it's going to be far beneath the surface of the water. I want this to be like, take up the whole page. Like it's going to be tall. So Bro sinks, arms and legs flailing. We could do a couple things. We could do him like this. Far beneath. Could have him down there. We could have like the surface of the water here. So it's like, okay, that's a straight on view. That's one way. I'm going to just do a real quick thumb to kind of work it out real quick. Bro sinks, arms and legs flailing. He exhales his last breath in a cloud of bubbles. No. This should be like half. I want this to take be something like half. It's going to be like he exhales his last breath in a cloud of bubbles. This is going to be like he's really fighting. Actually, more like, this is going to be like he's holding his breath, right? This might be 2 panels. And again, I'm going with like the obvious first. So it could be like, oh no. Oh wait, what am I doing? So he's going to exhale his last breath. I'm going to have he's going to be a little lower. I want this to have like a continual sinking feeling. Like, oh no, and a cloud of bubbles. Okay. And I want like the hands this time, like more like, oh no, dude. So hands are going to be kind of in the foreground. I'm going to have like, again, we're just kind of thinking, I kind of want like maybe maybe like back. And I actually want, this is a really tiny thumb, like crappy thumbnail, right? We're going to look up some references of people underwater too in a second. But right now we're just trying to figure out layout. So there we go. Hopefully this is interesting to you guys. Okay, so then he's going to exhale. Okay. Or should this be like a zoomed in view? This might be a zoomed in view, but let's just try to kind of work out the thing. And this is going to be just him floating. He's going to just be floating like, you can think. This is just me trying to kind of work it out. And actually, I probably should have done this a little more with the first one. This is going to be like, oh no. And then this will be more the dead stare. I don't know if I like that. I want to make it a little more dynamic real quick. I'm going to save, though, what I'm doing. I want to make it a little more dynamic, and then we'll do some research. I like the tall panel at first. I think it needs a little more reworking. Keep in mind, these are like thumbs, right? How far are we in? Ronnie Gunter joining us in the chats. How's it going, Ronnie? Can you hear me okay? I hope my audio is coming okay. I'm just trying to like keep my voice down so I don't keep people up in the house because I'm staying up a little past when I probably should, just to catch up where I'd like to be. Okay. I hope I'm coming across clear. Let me know, Ronnie. I'm also imagining you're probably getting ready for work. Awesome. Ronnie in the chat said, I can hear you great. I appreciate that. How's it going, Ronnie? I hope the comics are coming along good. Okay, so far beneath the surface, the water bro sinks, arms and legs flailing. I still like the idea of like this being tall. I almost feel like it should be a little thinner. It's always hard. I remember this being hard with Jacob's apartment too. When I tried to do vertical panels, they always take up so much of the space. I mean, I could do like something like that, stack it, you know, but it's like, that's not. Okay, I like it being a little wider. But I want to show arms and legs flailing. Okay. Ronnie said, good, doing great. That's good to hear, buddy. Ronnie Gunter has a really cool channel where he like reviews like horror, and I really enjoy it. It's with Jason Alexander, and it's just good. It's good times, good stuff. He needs to be like super deep down. I do like the idea of this being kind of more of like a like, I know there's like a dynamic shot of this, but I want you to feel like his desperation, like he's really deep down there. Oh my gosh, I'm overthinking this, possibly. Okay, so we're at 20 minutes. Okay. Bro sinks, his arms and legs flailing. Okay, now we're gonna do he exhales his last breath in a cloud of bubbles. Ooh, okay. Comics de la Muerte is the channel, just in case, the show on Crimson Owl Comics channel, YouTube. And he said next month is the 2-year anniversary of the show. Has it really been 2 years? Dude, time feels like yesterday. Okay, we're kind of working this out, guys. He's going to be kind of like, ooh. Okay, I'm trying to think like I'm holding your breath. Okay. What are you doing with your hands? Okay, that's it. Okay, there's going to be some like kind of hand stuff. Oh, that's what we're going to do. There we go. Now we've got it. Okay. Kind of like this. I'm not even going to redraw this because I'm being lazy. Okay. I'm just trying to kind of think through a good layout so that we're not like completely dying here. Am I overcomplicating it? Was like, if I did that, would that be better? I don't know. I kind of like the idea of it being like, okay, this body just dangling, you know? Ronnie said, I'll send you some artwork later. I don't want you to stop the show because I know you're busy doing your stuff, bro. Thanks, man. Yeah, feel free to send it to me in my chat, maybe like maybe in a little bit. Gonna have like a couple bubbles here. His head kind of dangling down. I like the idea of this being like the eyes. So again, I'm gonna kind of have to act this out a little bit, look up some reference, but I think like maybe here it'll be the blank stare. See, I don't think like both eyes is gonna be good. I just did the skateboard eyes, guys. I feel like both eyes would be the wrong direction. I think it should be like that. What do you think? What do you think, Ronnie, of these two? Which route would you go? I kind of think it's going to be more effective if I have almost like, I mean, we're going to have like a top-down view. Let's try doing like, just to disorient people a little more, like we're underwater. Yeah, I think that's the route. Two. Yeah, I agree. Okay. 2 is the route. Now we're going to do the fun stuff. So I have my thumb. Now, were I to have like more time on this book, spend a lot more time on that. So, but there's my thumb. That's the thing. There were a couple of people who watched the last one, and they were like, "Man, your thumbs are like way tighter than mine." They weren't talking about this kind of thumb. I was calling mistakenly my roughs thumbs, which is like a totally different thing. So that's my bad. I don't want to make people feel bad. My thumbnails are indecipherable and terrible. So I'm going to say save. And now we're going to go to the interwebs and see what we find. Luckily, like this one is not super bad. Okay, so we already found the costume. This is what I want him wearing, right? That happened in our last stream. We have our thumbnail. I'm going to save this one just as layer 3. So I think we're in pretty good shape to I just realized like I'm really zoomed out too, so you guys can't really see. But anyhow, we have our thumbnail, we have our costume. So like I don't have to do any historical research. At this point, I'm just gonna look up people swimming underwater and see if we can find some good images that kind of show like somebody flailing underwater and stuff like that. It's always good. If I can find some of that, I can do a tighter rough, and then obviously like when I go from roughs to final, that'll be good too. I also want to get some images of underwater, so we get kind of a vibe of like what it's going to look like. You know, it might be lame of me, but I like to get as much reference as possible. And if I can get it out of the way during the rough stage, great. So thank you, Ronnie, for the feedback and the help on that choice. All right, so now we're going to go to the fun times of, first I need to move StreamYard somewhere I can see the comments. Okay, and then now we're going to do some fun, crazy business. We're going to do, oh, I got to consolidate. Oh, goodness, let me leave that up. I have to consolidate a little bit. So I'm going to pull this up. I have to actually consolidate some stuff real quick. I know this is going to be kind of boring, but what I'm going to do is find my all the crazy references we found before. You can't, like, you're not seeing this because this is on my thing, but I'm putting them in a folder called page 1, or I should call it page 3. This is a little book knowledge. Usually the first page of a book for interiors is actually page 3. Because your first page is going to be your title page. It depends too, because like some books, like they want you to have a half title. Then you turn the page and then there's a full title. So in those cases, you're starting on like page 5. It's nuts. But a lot of books, it's like you open the cover. On the right, you're going to see the title page. Turn the page. Now on the left. Oh my gosh. I don't think I need to explain it, but anyhow, my point is this book is going to start on page 3. The art, although honestly, like the title will be fun to get into once I can, but I'm trying to just get all the interiors first, and then I'll get like, and then I'll worry about cover and chapters and all that stuff. I don't even know if we're going to have chapters. Okay. Rambling. Ronnie said, sweet underwater scenes could be great, but challenging. But that's the life of the artist. Yeah, this whole book is full of like crazy challenges. But luckily, this one's a little bit simpler in theory than the last page, where I had to find like period accurate boats and locations and stuff. At least underwater is pretty vague. It's unspecific enough where it can be a little more fun. Okay, so we're gonna throw on. Wait, that should have worked. Why didn't that work? Okay, I'm gonna find. What am I doing here? Hang on a second. Cancel. There we go. I don't know why that didn't work before. Okay, so we have now got a nice page. You guys seeing this? That was like from our last research. So now let's look up some stuff. I have a few things I want to find. Poses is ideal. So I'm going to kind of zoom in here so I can see my little thumbnail. I'm going to do man underwater. Let's see what we find. Oh my goodness. Boom. Look at that. Holy moly. That might be good. Let's see. Is that a painting or a drawing? I don't want to use, I tend to not want to use a drawing for reference. It's just too much. There's a lot here though. That's great. Look at that. Whew, that's nice. Okay, and much like before, I'm just gonna grab these references. I'm gonna pop them in. And I'm gonna pop them into layer. And this is gonna be, let's see what this would fit. Would this even fit one of my thumbnails? I think it would very beautifully. So, I mean, there's your dead hanging, right? I think his arms are too up, but at least this is like a start. So I'm gonna just say dead question mark. Okay, save. Let's continue our journey. Okay. Find similar. No, I don't want to. I need to look for more specific stuff because it looks like there's actually quite a lot. Right now I need somebody flailing underwater. So let's try that. I almost wonder if I looked up flailing. Ooh, this is beautiful. Not for the person, but for the surface of the water. Do you see that overlap, that cut of the surface of the water there? That's really good. This is a wonderful world we live in with the internet. Pretty good. I like that. That's going to be helpful. So we're going to say surface. I'm going to hit save. Then I'm going to get back to the internet. Sorry, guys. I know it's not like the most exciting thing, but this is the research that I do when I'm going to draw. And I have a feeling I'm not alone on this. I think a lot of people like getting some solid reference. This dude looks, it's almost flailing, but it's like he's touching the surface. But I wonder if you were to turn it, if that would be possible. I don't know. He looks like he's doing like a, no, I don't like that pose. That's pretty close. That's pretty good for legs. Oh my goodness. So that's good for legs. Let's see what else. This is like a really strangely good, like I think this is Adobe stock or something. Pretty good references. Okay. That was really nice. We lucked out on our first search, guys. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack sometimes. Come on. Okay, let's try this again. Man underwater. I really do like that person sinking. That's kind of the vibe I want, but I don't like that it's an existing guy underwater. Like I feel like we can find some good stuff. Let's look at our thumbnail again. I don't want to get distracted looking at cool images. I just like the feet. I'm going to call this. Oh, sorry. I just realized I'm not showing what I'm doing. I'm going to call that feet. I don't particularly think the pose is all that great, but let's see. Okay, we're still looking for, I'm looking for that first one and keeping an eye out. So let's try flailing underwater. Oh, they're sinking. Here I'm looking for things that are insane, and sinking is a pretty good one. Again, we're just kind of looking for a, ooh, that's good. That's a good angle. But I don't know. Ronnie said, I have to start work soon. You have a great day, Josh. I'll talk to you later. Yeah, you too. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. It's always fun to see you. And again, you guys should check out Ronnie's thing. I might even be overthinking this. Because at this point, I mean, there's definitely going to be. Now, what is this? Like, this is clearly. There was one here that was clearly. Oh, I just realized I'm not showing what I'm looking at. There was one here that was clearly not. It just was clearly not. Not the one that we just saw. This one, I really like that pose, but I have no idea why we're not kind of able to see it. So let's try that. That's pretty good. I like that pose. It's a good starting point. And it's also a suit. And I think that might be a better kind of dead pose. So I'm going to label that one as dead pose. I think that's a much better dead pose. Okay. I don't want to search by image. Okay. We're almost there, guys. On this one, this will be a quicker one. Let me try flailing. I mean, it's worth it. Or struggling? What would be the word? Just kind of trying to think of that pose. I guess at the end of the day, like this isn't even stuff I definitely need a lot of reference for, because I can pose myself or I can have people pose. So I think I'm overthinking this actually. I think I just need the water. And I think we have enough here. The only thing I want to do is I probably should look for I'm going to go back because I found one that was good for bubbles. Okay, so like this is good for like a splashy thing. Like I think. Oh, this is really good. Falls into the depths. Look at that. That's good for like a little bit of the conveying of it. Falling bubbles. Okay. And then we need to find. Okay, I had the surface of the water. That's good. Okay, I want to go back to that first underwater stuff we were looking at. So we're just going to go back. And we're going to find. That was it. I want some like bubbles, like breathing bubbles, because that's like the kind of thing that it's good to have reference for, you know? I mean, it's pretty incredible what you can find. But again, like a lot of this, I prefer to kind of come up with my own. Ooh. That's good for like struggling, actually. Okay, we're going to have to just go with that. This is a good one for struggling. There was a breathing one that we came across that I thought was really good. It's like the flurry of bubbles that come out. Was it something like this? Or something like this? Or something like this? That's pretty darn good. Okay. It's actually really good. Oh, what the heck? I just took a screenshot of that. Oh. I'll find it. My desktop is so insane right now. Okay. I'm going to screenshot that again because I like those bubbles. And I don't know why that keeps disappearing. That's so insane. Let's see if we can find it. There we go. Okay. I got it on my desktop. That's good. We're going to basically pop that in here. What the heck? Oh, I know what's going on. Doop. Again, we're just coming up with real loose things, like trying to kind of get it all worked out. So I've got those bubbles. I feel like there was another better bubble. Because I feel like that's all I'm going to need. Hey, that's pretty good. There's those last bubbles. Okay. Oh. Okay, there's bubbles again. Okay. Call this bubbles. This will be okay. I think we have kind of enough. Is there anything else that I'm gonna really need here? I think that's it. That's all I need for these thumbs. Okay. So I'm gonna disappear for 2 seconds. Oh wow, look at that. We're on my YouTube channel. Okay. Let me turn that off. Okay, I think we have all we need. So I'm gonna save and I'm gonna disappear for about 2 seconds and I'll be right back. And then we're gonna knock out the roughs. So we have a bunch of our references. And we have our thumbnail, and now we're going to do roughs. So, stretching. I'm hoping to wrap this, probably sleep when I'm done wrapping it, and then maybe sleep like 6 hours, 5 hours, and then wake up and hit it hard. Just do a lot of thumbnails. We'll see. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, I am back. I'm loading up on coffee, and we're going to see what we can do here. Okay. I'll call this lines, and we're gonna sketch this out. Dee Dee said, "Are you still up, Josh?" Yes, I am. I'm surprised you're still up, Dee Dee. What time is it for you? I like was planning to be back a little quicker than I ended up being able to be back. And so oh, Dee Dee said, just got up. Well, good morning, Dee Dee. At 5, wow. Okay. Look how I mean, just that. I know it's nerdy, but it's like that just gives so much depth. Okay, now I'm gonna like kind of find a surface. I want to kind of keep that here. So that's going to be how we do our surface here. I don't want it to look too tumultuous though. Dee Dee said it's 5:45. Wow. Yeah, I'm planning on, so right now I'm thumbnailing like page 2. I like the idea of like a little bit of that kind of business. That is simply something that makes perfect sense. And I wouldn't have thought to have. So and then I think the weird thing is It's almost like this at the surface. It's almost like it's going to have something coming for you at the surface. And we're going to have it go light, I want it lighter. Okay. So we got our surface there. Now I'm going to do a little thumbnail thing because I think that's way too large. And we're doing roughs right now, right? Oh, did not like that. Oh, I see what's happening. I have my extras on. I don't need them right now. Okay. I'm going to delete that. Delete that. And then I'm going to basically copy this. And that's okay if it's a little rough, but I want it like half size, and then I'm going to double it. So we are indeed going to be doing some tricks here, guys. Ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so here we go. And voila. We got a surface of a water. I think that what I need to do above, so I'm going to have I also want it a little higher. I want it almost like the top of the panel. Dee Dee said, I call everyone guys. Yeah, me too. It's Californian. in California, you call people guys. It's just like a weird California thing. When I was a kid, when I was really little, I had a very brief period where I lived in Texas. And I remember when we moved back from Texas, I was like, 6 years old or whatever. But it took me a year or so to like not say y'all. And now it's like I can't even imagine saying y'all. Okay. Now that's looking really ominous, and I'm liking that. But I want the height a little higher on this part. Where are my lines? Okay, there they are. I want this height like, I mean, this is a thumbnail, but still, I want the height like a little bit higher. Well, wait, I got to stop calling this a thumbnail. This is a rough. I think the last time, Dee Dee, I was calling my roughs thumbnails, and somebody was like horrified. They were like, my thumbnails are so like indistinguishable. And I was realizing, wait a minute, I'm doing roughs and I'm sleepy, so I've called it thumbnails. Dee Dee said she grew up in Texas. Huh. It's cool. I want to ask where about, but I also, I don't know, like the area I was in was close to Fort Worth. And I went to, I need to remember, I can't remember the school name. That's the one thing that bums me out. This is actually something I've talked about, but it's like one of the hard things. Okay, that's definitely not working. That's going to bug me. I'm going to kind of do a little cheat here where I do this. Boom, look at that, like magic. Not quite yet, though. I also want some of that atmosphere of underwater. But I want it to get really dark down here, so I want that like that's ominous now. Okay, there we go. We got like an ominous thing going on. And that's going to be the surface. We're going to do multiply. Now we're talking. Does that seem deep? It should. Okay. So we've got the start of this. Dee Dee said a thumbnail is just a tiny sketch to me. Yeah. So I'd say like, this is my thumb, you know? And then what I'm doing right now are roughs because I'm trying to kind of figure out lighting, staging, poses, all that stuff. Okay, we have our Edward costume. I'm gonna, at this point, move my thumbnail over. So we've got like a little bit more going on. That's not the one. Where was the flailing one? I feel like there's flailing bubbles. That's pretty good for flailing. Okay, I'm gonna just use this as a basis. I mean, obviously, he's not really looking like he's struggling, you know? I also wonder, would it look more like if you had a guy like that, but he's under? Actually, I kind of like upside down. Okay, we're going to figure it out. Okay, so Dee Dee said, I scrubbed through your last stream, looking good. Thank you, Dee Dee. It took me a little longer, I think, than I'd like. But then again, like even this, I was like, oh, I'll be done in an hour. And we're a little further in than an hour. Okay, so I'm going to have kind of like the idea of having, okay, we're going to do this a little bigger and a little looser because I shouldn't be spending finishing level time. Okay. Okay. I like the idea of this, but I don't like the arm out. Like if the arm's out here, that doesn't make a lot of sense. I like the idea of the arm kind of being more flaily. So I'm like, okay. 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 Arm out. There we go. Fingers should be more desperate. Okay. That's way better. Like he should be reaching up a little more. Like, so I actually want his shoulders more like that. That's good. Very flaily. Okay. This is just loose. Loosey goosey, guys. I want the head back a little more. Okay, this is where that reference is great because like I want kind of more, yeah. Okay, we want something really exaggerated here. Okay. And then I'm going to have like a, like I want this kind of, it's almost like he's jumping, you know, like, ta-da. Okay, there we go. We got our pose kind of roughly worked out there. Okay, Edward costume, I'm going to move over, but we're going to work this out. Dee Dee was saying it was just your initial thinking through the startup. Yeah, it's going to take a while to kind of get these, get in the zone, you know. It's a lot more fun when you're like, okay, so here's Edward. He doesn't have his hat. Like his hat is gone now. So this is just going to be, I also want to have, okay, pull the part over here. I really do have to say though, thank you, Dee Dee, for like the encouragement and stuff. It really, it's funny how intimidating starting a even like over 15 years into this, I still just don't have a time where I don't feel a slight intimidation when I'm starting a project that's new. And you just kind of like, at least for me, it's like I have to just kind of lean into the fear and trust trust God, you know? I don't know if that makes sense, but it's nerdy, but that's what I've learned. So okay, I know that I want him to have kind of a rounded nose a little bit. It's not going to be quite there. I also know that I want him to have like a bag under his eyes. And I also know in this case it's going to be kind of, I want him like holding his breath. And I want to have his ear not be insane. Okay. Here we go. There's my bald dude. So then I'm going to have, I remember we gave him a mustache. I want him to be kind of a handsome fellow. So he's going to have a more squared off jaw. I want his eyes to be like, holy crap. Like, I want his nose to have bubbles because that's what happens. Dee Dee said, yes, understand it when you know he is with you and wants you to do well. You get past the fear. Yeah. And also like, like with like fear, it doesn't, it's good, but it like, and it can be healthy and stuff, but it's like, I think like half of doing art is like tackling things you'd be nervous about tackling, you know? I don't want it to seem like he has an afro though. But Elizabeth did have kind of, okay. He's going to have his, how would that be there? Okay. Do you like that? Okay, we're going to do a little bit of that. Okay. So now I want to do, I shouldn't spend like an immense amount of time working this guy out. I just need to get the costume. How's it going to be affected by the water or whatever? Maybe the tie is kind of a little like out there, and like you might actually see the the thing. Okay. Now we're thinking like, what's his costume? Okay, so he's got this going around, center line here. Okay. And yeah, Didi was saying that's called faith. Yeah, it's like I think you have to trust that there's a purpose, and it's kind of fun to try to figure that out. And also like it's kind of freeing to be like, okay, I have the freedom to give something a shot. I don't know. So I want this to be okay. We got like this going. Got my guy. He's got like a giant head. That's okay. It's going to be from a distance, but when I get into reference and stuff, I think I'll be adjusting his head. I also like the idea of this being more. This is a long coat, so actually it should be more like here. And also like it's underwater, so it should have like more of a almost like the natural folds will be a little bit out. Okay. Now we're going to do that. And we're going to do hands that are going to be more concerned. This is good. I'm feeling a little looser on my sketch. So that's a good sign. I feel like last time I was super rigid because it's like, again, like you just kind of get in this zone of working one way, and like when you have to kind of adjust to like a new process, it's just like, even though this isn't a new process, but it was like a year ago that we did the pitch, so it's like it's just a lot of fun, but it just takes a little bit to kind of get used to. Okay. I'm liking this so far. I'm wondering, am I matching him up with the previous page though? Oh, let me see. Ruff's page 3. Okay, his mustache is a little bit further, a little bit more of a like, there we go. And I want this to be a hand, this hand I want to have like open, you know? Let's see. All right, there we go. No perfection, right? Okay, so now we're gonna have like this is the interesting thing about pants at that time, right? They have like more of a gap. That's one thing I'm noticing, and I should keep that in mind. Like the gap between the waistline, like the person's crotch is actually there, but there's like this giant gap. Like it's just an interesting style of pants from that time. Okay. We're going to kind of work it out. Get that. And we're getting it. Here we go. And Didi was like, you're good at Photoshop. Shrinking his head will be no problem. Yeah, agreed. I don't think there's really, these are more like a slip-on. Okay. And speaking of what Dee Dee was just talking about, probably going to do that just a little bit. There we go. Okay, let's give it a little shadow. This is going to be underwater, so the shadows are a little different. He's got a dark jacket on. And again, this is just a rough. I might be spending too much time for a rough, but whatever. It's a little quicker than last time. I'll take it. All right. There we go. I'm fairly happy with that, even though the proportions are a little nuts. Because it's made for that small. That was the catch, guys. I kind of like that too a little more. So, okay. There we go. I'm going to temporarily do a little trick where I'm going to do a color, and then I'm going to do, what's the, where am I? Okay. I'm going to do need to do color under it. Let's just make it solid. Okay, I didn't need to actually change the color. I forgot a trick. Hang on. Why is my brush being weird? Oh, man. Oh, there we go. No. Why isn't that working? That's weird. It's not letting me pick a soft brush, and I need to kind of figure that out. That's very strange. The devil is going on there. Yeah, Dee Dee, you're dead on. That's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna have like bubbles for sure that are gonna kind of go up to the top, but not too many because it's gonna be like light bubbles as he's going. I don't know why my soft brush. I gotta look into that. That's really strange. I've never had that happen. Might just be a bug. I mean, it shouldn't be in pencil mode. That, oh, there we go. I just had a brain fart. That's all it came down to. I had my brush in pencil mode, which makes sense because when you're inking and you're editing inks, which I've been doing for most of my illustrations, it's like I'll do scanned inks. You're working in anti-aliased, or sorry, aliased lines, which is like, so you want like a hard eraser. It's going to work as like an aliased line. But when you're, doing these like thumbs, like I don't want a hard line for my eraser. So now I'm thankful that I figured that out. Maybe a dumb question. Have you been working all night and have you been saving your work? I have been working all night, and when I'm done with this page, I'm going to sleep. And yes, I have been saving my work 100%. I took a shower after my last one, after my last thumbnail. And I'm planning to wrap this. Gosh, I thought I would do it before 3, but now I'm hoping before 4. And then I'll probably sleep for like 5 or 6 hours. And then hopefully wake up, and my hope is to do about 8 thumbnails tomorrow. Or not thumbnails, roughs. If I can do that, I'm in really good shape. Okay. Look at that. That's perfect. Okay, that's what we want. Now we just need some bubbles. Now at least we're done with one panel. So panel at a time, guys. Yeah, I hope that doesn't seem insane. Kind of pull a late night, but it's like, I think I actually want some, there's kind of going to be some bubbles for some of those kind of crazy bubbles that would happen around like your hands and stuff, like more so than like on I don't know if that makes sense. Oh no, that's not what I want. So I'm thinking it's more just like trying to get those. I have a few. Does that seem deep? I hope that seems deep. I think I might need to exaggerate even more the kind of depth. Oh, come on. What am I missing here? Okay, there we go. I think I need to exaggerate just a little bit more. I really want it to feel like there's no escaping. Like this isn't like a 2-foot pool or something. What do you think? I think we're there. So, okay, so there's that. There's just one little thing to, okay, we're going to turn off the thumbnail. We're going to do that. We're going to merge visible. Dee said deep enough. Good point. Okay, so we're going to see the sea. I like that. Okay. Oh, I need to view extras. Okay, we're getting there, guys. I'm going to turn off view extras. And we're going to do a little. Oh, the swirly bops. I got to think of what is that. You know what I'm going to do? Because these are roughs. Oh my gosh. I've been doing things a little bit the wrong way. Because these are roughs, I've been sketching something I can just copy. And again, on final, I'll do that, but we aren't working on finals here. Don't save. Haha. Yes. I'm going to just grab this little thing and we're going to cut it. I'm going to put that right here. Man, what am I thinking here? I don't think there was that big of a gap. Am I crazy? Okay. There was that big of a gap. Okay. Wait. Maybe I'm just too zoomed in for that. Ah, that explains it. Okay. Much better. Okay. So we have our little corner emblem. I'm going to just put it on multiply. Then we're going to go back here. Kind of make that work without having to redraw it, which I like. Okay, now we're going to do a little bit of the business here. Oh man, did I make that too small now? I don't think I did. And honestly, okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm starting to feel that late night thing, so I definitely need to finish this and then call it very much a night. Okay. There we go. Wait. What am I thinking here? Am I doing this wrong? Brain. Got it. Okay. Kind of just talking a little bit. Sorry if that's a little strange. Kind of talking myself through the process here. Okay. And we're going to put this back here. Ah, there we go. I was just kind of forgetting the rules for a second there. There we go. Okay. We're super close to done with the first panel. Dee Dee was saying talking it out does work. It does. It's like strangely, I'm a I'm a thinker who thinks out loud. It's just the way I think. So there we go. We got a thumbnail. Just going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can get a better view. And maybe I'll actually reduce this a little bit so you guys can get an even better view. Because I know I can sometimes have that banner be like ginormous. And I think that's pretty big. Like you guys can see that as is. So we'll move it so it's not getting in the way. Okay, I'm going to save, and then I'm going to disappear for 2 seconds and get a refill of my coffee. That might have been the most complicated of the panels. So where's my thumbnail? Yep. All right, I'll be right back, guys. I definitely am not going to rest till this page is done, but I appreciate that, Dee Dee. But hey, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 panels left to go. And I don't think they'll be impossible. I think we can finish this page. I'll be right back, though. By the time I'm done with this book, I'm probably going to look like Elizabeth Barrett Browning. I'm kidding, but she had like major bags under her eyes, probably from like the opium that she did. That the book will talk about. Although she was one of the most brilliant poets in the planet, I just thought it would be funny to think. Merge visible. Oh, poor Edward. Poor Edward. Okay, here we go. We're going to do a little bit more thumbnailing. Curious, what are you working on, Dee Dee? I'm curious how your creative stuff is going. Okay. Let's block out these boxes. Blocking out boxes is fun times. Oh, wait. We have one other thing we have to do. View, extras. This is the advantage of thumbnails right here, because when it comes to the vector lines, it shouldn't be impossible. Okay, save. Now we're going to do vector boxes. I'll rule these out on the final. We're going to do a little bit of a cheat here that I think you guys might appreciate. Okay. I know, this is like the weirdest thing in the world, and I'm not doing it perfectly, but I'm finding it out. She said what she's working on is on her Instagram. You can see it later. Awesome. I'll check it out, Dee Dee. Hope you're making good progress. Okay. Save. I'm gonna find that middle point. 10. Okay. I don't want it to be perfectly symmetrical. Okay. There we go. There we go. Being so sloppy. I can definitely tell the tiredness is coming in. It feels like when I was working on my undergrad, or actually, honestly, when I was working on my MFA, some late nights where you are so sleepy, you know? But I will overcome the sleepiness. Dee Dee was saying, I don't do sequential art, so get a variety of projects done. Comics, graphic novels would be too confusing for me. I admire you guys that do them. Thanks. It's comics are weird, you know? I come from an illustration background, and uh, the second I love comics, you know, and the second I did my first like real crack at a comic, I think I like just fell in love with the impossibility of them. Is that weird? Oh, confining, Dee Dee was saying. Yeah, I can understand that. Well, especially like having to commit to a comic is like, oh man, you know, it can be a lot of work, and also just like I agree. Like it can be a little confining. Because just doing sequential narratives in general, it's like you're pretty stuck with. Yeah. Anyhow, I think when I am done with this book and Two Stories Book 2, I might take a brief break from comicking because holy crap. All right. Because like doing a single illustration is just so fun. But the fact that comics are kind of impossible. I'm not trying to say they're like harder or anything. I think like Dee, I've seen your stuff. You could easily probably do a comic if you really wanted to, but it is biting off a lot, like and I can understand like the desire to just kind of make like whatever image you want, and then you're not really stuck with another image. Okay. I like those bubbles. I like these bubbles. I like these bubbles, and I think this is more where I'm going to go. Although I don't want, obviously not that face. I just like that bubble. I need my dude again. Where's my Edward costume? There you are. Okay, we're going to do a little trick. There was a time, Dee, maybe you remember this, but there was a time where Photoshop did not have that rotation. So you'd have to go image rotate, like flip your image and then do your changes and then flip it back, which could cause problems, right? Because it would kind of, every time you rotate the page in that way, it could mess with the pixels. So that tool, that rotate view tool, that thing is flipping amazing. I remember when that first came out, we were like, holy crap, that's amazing. Okay. So I think he's going to be upside down. Yep. So we're going to draw him here. And I liked the idea of, I think I had an idea like his hands would be, so that's what we're going to do here. Okay. Okay. I also thought of a change that I'm gonna do in a second, but okay. I thought of a change I'm gonna do in a second, but so on the other one, I had him kind of in the same pose. I don't know if I want the hand here, actually. Okay, he's gonna have his mouth up here, like holding his breath. A little bit of air coming out of his nose. He's gonna have to have his rad mustache. He's gonna have his hand. That actually does work. Okay. It's gonna be really interesting, but so I was gonna have this same shot, like equally up close, and I just realized a really smart solution. It's gonna be a slight change to the thumbnail, but it's basically just that the bottom panel is going to be further away, so you get that like this is a view from up top, and then you're going to see him sink. It's going to be that sense of like you're both watching him drop vertically and horizontal, like horizontally. I think it'll make sense in a second. Bear with me, guys. Didi was saying, I remember a time before desktops. I do too. I had a I guess maybe it's because like I kind of had a family that wasn't like super well off, and so when I was even when I was in high school, we had like a hand me down like Apple Mac that was like like it was like a decade old or something, you know. And that was when I was a senior, so we had no internet access for a while. And then I think that was when I was a junior. I think finally, when I was a senior in high school, my parents got an HP. And this is like back in the days when like you'd connect to the internet and like you're like a dial tone for 10 years. Back into like you've got mail kind of area. Oh, I can't be too loud though. I gotta keep the voice down here. I feel like here I'm missing a little bit of the character that I was creating there. But you know what I just realized? It's just people are gonna look weird when they're holding their breath. Okay, let's see. Boom. Okay. Check. Okay. Good enough. We need to now do. I don't need that bubble yet, actually. I do need to look at the costume because I'm going to have him kind of flailing. So where's the? I don't know. I don't think I ended up finding a pose for that. I think I was just going to freestyle it. I like his legs there, but I don't know if those are going to be used. That's going to be very valuable in a second. That's not. Yep. Okay. So this one we're just We're freestyling. This is going to have a hand like okay. 2 seconds. Be right back. Are you talking about this square thing, Dee Dee? Right there? Because that does look a little weird. I think that makes more sense. Looks like a cuff. It was the cuff link, but I think it looks a little better now. Did that clarify it? I don't know. Let me know, Dee Dee. I'll be right back. Give me 2 seconds, and then I'm going to do panel 3. But does that look better? You let me know. All right, I'll be right back. Yeah, it's not a hard square anymore, so it looks better. Yeah, and like honestly, it'd be good to like kind of have it wrap around a little more, but again, these are roughs, so but I do want them to be clear when I show them to the publisher, so that'd be good. I don't want to blow it, on them. So I'm going to have, oh, what am I doing? I need to do this on a different layer. All right, now we're having some momentum. All right. Okay. Okay, I want this to almost be like that, like it's the fun of like there we go. Now we're having some gestures. Jeez. I don't know how how I was getting so tight on some of these things. You know what? I like the dynamism here, but I think this hand, just for movement, it needs to be like kind of more like that. You know what I mean? That looks more flaily, like it's a little closer. And then the fingers are gonna be there. So it's kind of like more desperate, And then we're gonna have I'm forgetting his neck, so that would be good to have. Like a neck would be good. Okay. Here we go. And we got we're gonna have, I like that kind of bend there. Okay. Okay. Let's get in there and give it specifics. Jesus, your pug? Had his eyes like all off. That would explain a little bit. He's got to have some chops. Okay. There we go. Getting there, guys. This is going to be the getting a little looser, which is good. I think I've been too tight with these roughs, and I gotta say I like the looseness of this a lot more. I want this to be like a, there we go. Like that line a lot more. I don't like this, so I'm gonna have it. And again, like the weird thing about men's pants in that era. All right. I think the strength of that thumbnail, though, I got to put his chops on this layer. I think the strength of that thumbnail before, though, is like it's just the size. Because again, we want to really reinforce he's drowning, like, you know, so he needs to be like significantly more struggling here. So I think that'll do. They had that drop crotch. What was that all about? I have no idea. It's kind of weird. It's an interesting thing. And I guess it seems like it's like changing all the time. Like I think in the it's kind of similar to like women's clothes in like the 80s. You know, like there were those really high ridden jeans, you know? And then like you have like a little bit later where it's like low cut, and then you'll see it just like flow back and forth from like one trend to the other. I do like the idea of this being more. Okay, now we're getting some thumbs. We're having so many thumbs here, we could be a hand. Sorry, I usually am talking quite a bit during these, but getting in the zone and getting a little looser, which is good news because these are roughs. I think I was treating the first page of roughs a little too preciously, which makes sense. You know, it's like the first take on something. So hopefully as I go, these will go a lot quicker. I think at the top of this, I was like, I think this will take like an hour to thumbnail and rough out. And now we're well into 2 hours, I think. But I'm still thinking this process again. Well, it might also be because this time I didn't have to look anything up. Okay, where was that? I have that super dark. And I'm gonna get a little more. I also like the idea of like as he's sinking down, It's like almost sinking into the abyss there. I don't know if that's crazy or not, but whatever. Make that happen. All right. Now I'm wondering if the upside down is working. Tell me your thought on it. Do you think it's like a little disconcert? Like I wanted it to be a little discombobulating, but now I'm second guessing that choice to have it. Hey, that's a good point. Dee Dee was saying maybe it had something to do with their underwear at the time. Probably, because I think men had like those weird, crazy, like long john type underwear. So it kind of makes sense. Oh my gosh. Oof. Okay, you guys, we got 3 more panels. 3. And again, these are super loose roughs. Okay. I am curious what your opinion is, though. Do you think it works having this panel? I'll kind of select it. If you can see the marching ants, do you think that should be upside down, or is that just too much of a switch from like panel 2 to panel 3? Initially, I thought that was a cool idea, but I think it might be a little harder to read. And the last thing you want to do is create confusion on a sequence. So I'm almost thinking, oh my gosh, come on. Thank you, Shift Bar. I'm almost thinking that might be better. I'm going to undo it and let you look at it for a second. To me, the long shot on him at the bottom should be on the right, like the Last Death. You see his face. In the middle. Hold on. Long shot on him should be at the bottom. Oh. Interesting. Okay, well let's play with that in a second, okay? I do like that. I kind of understand what you're saying. Like it's almost like flipped. That might actually work. Left panel. On the right. No, I think you might be right. That might be better as a shorter panel, and then the one where he's yeah, okay. I think I'm following you. All right, let me block out. Okay, I think I get what you're saying. Okay, well, hang on a second. I will be right back. Oof. All right. So we got a few things going on here. If I am reading this, I would expect the last thing would be that deep view. I think you're right. I'm going to play with that in a second, but I do want to burn through these real quick. But I almost think you might be right. Like, yeah, there might be a little bit of reordering in a second. Let's see, but I do like that point. You're almost saying like this would be over here, and then maybe this would be over here with this pose here and this pose. Oh my gosh, you can't. With that pose over here and that pose over here. Like trade them. I think I get what you're saying. And then the whole pan. Yeah. Anyhow, it's hard to verbalize, but I'll play with that. I think that's a really good suggestion indeed. I appreciate it. Okay. So now we need that. Yes, trade them. Yeah, exactly. But that pose should be over here. So yeah, I'm going to mess with that. We'll see. So I do think ooh, I like that. That would actually show the depth and the sinking. Okay, let's play with that real quick because I kind of like it. So I'm going to skip one panel and then we'll get to that panel, see if this works real quick. Almost like that should be like exact. I'm seeing what you're thinking here, Dee, I think, and I like it. And I kind of want it to be, where's my thumbnail? Okay, let's test this out. This is the beauty of digital and of thumbnails. So, okay. Now I'm going to pull my thumb. Okay. I think I see exactly what you're saying here. The problem is I'm going to have to Okay. That's doable. I just have to rethink it a little bit. I think you're right, though. I think you're 120% right. Okay. I'm going to try. Did I say 120%? It's exact. Okay. You're saying okay, I'm going to make a copy just in case. Oh my gosh, come on. Don't freeze. Okay. Thank you, computer. Okay, that's my copy. So if this whole thing fails, I can go back. Let's play with this idea because I like it a lot. I think this might work. Okay, it's going to require a little shuffling. Have I rebooted in the last 12 hours? Yes, I believe so. But my computer is going to be all kind of weird, so this will take a second. It's not like I'm doing anything like heavy computer work here or anything. Okay. Let's double check that we have, yes, okay, I have my backup. I have my backup plan there. Okay, let's play. Let's see what happens, because I think you have made a really good call there. Okay, So I'm going to do this. Oh my gosh, come on. It is getting laggy. This is going to go here. Bear with me. And we will delete this. Oh, that's weird. Oh, that was on the thumbnail page? Well, I'm going to have to change that anyway. Okay. This, very rightfully, you're suggesting would go here. Oh, come on. Didn't select the whole thing. Come on. This would be here. We're getting there. Hang on. I love it. Except I don't need to do that. Because this will be the dead body. This would go here. Here's the tough part, but I think it's feasible. So actually, the sequence works so much better. So much better, I think. So we're going to do this here. And then I'm just going to have to kind of pretend that it fits. Wait a minute. I don't have to pretend that it fits. Just need to have it deeper down. We're going to have this here. Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, Dee, I think that actually works a million times better. Okay. Wow. Again, this is the advantage of roughs, you know? It's like I'll play at this point. But I actually think this makes it a lot stronger. Wow, what a cool idea. Because you're right, the long panel is just so dramatic to have at the beginning. And really you want that impact on the end. And also then you're syncing with him, right? Oh my gosh. I'm really excited about that. Let's see, where are we? Cool. That was a really good call, Dee. Thank you. That's how we do it as artists, right? It's all about play. Now I'm gonna have to kind of straighten out the panels and stuff, but I think I get what you're saying, and I agree with you. Like 150,000 times, I agree with you. So here's the catch. I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna try to do this, and I'm gonna go Oh, wait. Okay. There's a few little things I gotta fix, but well worth it. And this is why you do roughs, you know? Man, I gotta say, one of the things that's hard about this time of year for me is I get terrible allergies. So I have my allergies kind of kicking in. That's it. That is the stuff. Dee Dee said we have that yellow pine pollen here in Georgia. Oof. Yeah, I'm lucky I live in a desert just because I get really bad allergies. And so, like, when I used to live in the Pacific Northwest, it was pretty bad. Like, around spring, you'd just be like, I feel like death every day because of all the. Oh man, that sounds nightmarish, Dee Dee. Okay, we're gonna get rid of this. I think I'm sold on it. Oh my gosh, that works so much better. Okay. Dee Dee said, I have a daughter in Valencia. Awesome. Okay, back to it. Now let's get my thumbnail. So I'm going to do this one. Okay, this is done. This is done. We're going to do for panel 1, 2, 3, 4. For panel 4, I'm going to actually have it be oh, perfect. Okay. We're going to rearrange again. We're playing musical chairs, guys. But I think these are good musical chairs. One thing that I think is really valuable, and I'm just going to mention that, like Dee Dee, you giving feedback. The stream I was doing before, I got some really good feedback. Like artists benefit from observers and other artists. Like and the one way you can kind of kill that is by being too contentious or argumentative about feedback. Like, and I mean, Dee Dee knows this too. It's like you kind of you benefit a lot from like humility and being like open to being wrong, or and like in this case, Dee Dee, you made a suggestion, and now I think this is better. Like now this looks like I know what I'm doing. I love that. She said, yeah, we have the eye. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so now we're gonna get, okay, let me get that thumbnail back. Okay, this is the next one. I think I'm gonna have it like rotated, so I almost want to do it like this. Okay, and we're gonna get that. Whew, I'm getting sleepy, but that's okay. Bubbles above, yes. Okay. That's the angle. Okay, here we go. Let's save. This is definitely coming along much better. Dee Dee said, on my streams, I ask all the time what others think. But I never mind. Don't always do it, but I never mind feedback. Yeah. Like that's the thing. It's like sometimes, people are like, oh, do this, and it's wrong, but like the worst case, what I find is like at least trying it, trying it out, seeing like, okay, does that work better? Like it didn't take that long. Now, if like this was like a pencil drawing or something like that might be more of a scenario. Oh, that was the other thing. I'm gonna make this a little more distant so he's sinking. So I want to actually have it be like a little deeper down. Like now you've got it. This is where it's going to be like that big old bubble. Throwing this out there, like, no, that didn't work. Needs to be more like that. There we go. That's the angle we want. Is your working screen frozen? Am I frozen? Is it still broadcasting? It seems like it's good on my end, but you got to tell me. This is going to be more just kind of like, oh my gosh, like he's going to be having like this. I really appreciate that feedback, man. Like I'm kind of astounded by like how cool that was. So I feel like that's good. Okay, now let's get back to kind of where that's going to be. Yep. And I want it to be like kind of these big bubbles, like cool. So we've got that. I'm going to turn off the bubbles above. I'm going to get this back to some, oh my gosh. Okay. Where was I? Okay, here. We're going to go back to like a little bit of shading. Just to kind of establish where we are, you know. Again, we're just trying to block out like a little bit of poses. But mostly, you know, I'm working out all the sequences and stuff, so it doesn't have to be perfect. This is just going to be getting deeper and darker. This I might want like a harder edge. So I was noticing it was a little too soft at the edge. Maybe that's a little too hard. Loosey-goosey thumbnails here. I keep calling them thumbnails. These are roughs. I feel like I should have a penalty. Big hands is dramatic, reaching out to the viewer. Yeah, I agree. We're kind of like getting lost in the... Got it. Okay, I gotta move this thumbnail real quick. Somewhere I will recognize it. And what do I need? Now we're gonna do that panel. We're flipping around panels a lot, but I think this actually works really well. So, did I just merge the thumbnail layer? Nope. Merge down. Do 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 do. Dee Dee, you are awesome. Okay, that was a really good piece of advice there. This is going to be the... Is that someone seeing them drown or him? It's going to be him. Maybe. It'll be clearer if it's him. If it's... Aha! Thanks again for your feedback, Dee Dee. Oh, we already see his expression in that top panel. Well, the writer wanted the blank stare. But I guess that's the blank stare. So, okay, let's look at the script. Just let me make sure, because I don't have to like stick exactly to the script, but let me see. He exhales his last breath into a cloud of bubbles. His body relaxes and floats. His flight is over. His limp body drifts, eyes open in an unseeing stare. Okay. I like the hand. But I could kind of see it working like this too. Yeah, it's already in the two middle panels. Let's do a hand. I like that. Let's do the hand. Let's try it. That's a fair point, Dee Dee. Now it looks like almost like somebody's reaching out their, like even if that were black, it's gonna look like somebody's reaching out their hand. So I think actually, I like the hand, but I think I just tried to drag you screen down. I don't know what that means, Dee Dee. I'm sorry. I think actually we are gonna kind of do close up in the face in the middle. Well, let's get through this. Okay. I do agree though. I think that's actually a pretty good idea too. So let's play with this. The hand was worth trying. But I do think like the second I add it, it almost looks like, oh, I'll save you, you know. Like I think it's because somebody is oh, I just tried to drag your screen like on my iPad. That's gotta be interesting where you're like, ooh, I have a good idea here. This is gonna be a little crazy, but bear with me. I kind of get what you're saying now. Okay. We're going to do another little attempt, and then I'm going to take a brief break, and then I'm going to be pretty close to done because we just have that last one. Could you put the close up middle panel and have it overlap all the others? Yeah. You know what? Just going to try this. We always have an edit undo. We might be getting close, but I think this might be the solution here. That works so much better. Darn it, Dee Dee. You've given really good advice. I don't want to have it overlap, but I think sequentially you're right. It didn't feel in place, and now it does because here's the thing. So he's underwater. He's really deep. Panel 2 is like, dude, holy crap, like I'm syncing. Panel 3 is like, oh crap, my air. Panel 4 is like him like trying to hold in there. Panel 5 is like air's gone. I do like the idea of it being bigger. We'll see. We'll see. But I don't want to go too far. I like it like that. I think that actually works really well. I think your instinct on it was dead on too. Now we got to do this last panel. So I did have a really good dead person, potentially, or there was another one that I thought was even more powerful if you flip it. Like that. Yep. That's exactly the angle it should be. Oh, Dee, thanks so much for hanging out with me and keeping me company. I'll be probably wrapping up in about a minute or two, but I appreciate it, and I appreciate you watching the streams. Have a good morning. Okay. But I really appreciate the feedback too. Oh my goodness. It's been really helpful. Okay. We're gonna save. Oh my gosh, Dee, too much. I appreciate it. You're amazing. Dee said, "Get some rest." Thank you. I will try. I'll give it a shot. Just got to get. Thank you for the super chat. That's appreciated. So at this point, I need to kind of have. I'm gonna do this all the way. Okay. Cool. This is just a section where I can kind of work out this sequence. Okay. We're gonna get this rough worked out. Basically have I mean, this is almost like almost to a T exactly the pose, which is kind of perfect. And again, this is just thumbnails, but I do like that idea. And it's this hand that really sells it. So there we go. I just have to turn off the Edward costume. Goodbye, Edward. Man, I'm kind of glad I've been doing these while streaming, though, because I've gotten some really great suggestions. On the first page, I had to do some research and find a ship. And sort of by streaming, a couple people recommended a really good ship. And here again, I feel like this composition just went from okay to pretty strong, pretty darn strong. Frank said, just got up, getting ready for church. Well, have a good day at church, Frank. Paul's here. Paul, good morning. I'm just about wrapping up. Cool. We did it. Thumbnail number 2. Well, not thumbnail. Rough number 2 done. Morning, Paul. Paul Pate. Before I go, I have to plug my stuff. We've actually wrapped tonight. Can you believe it? I'm excited because I'm like, it's like almost 5 in the morning. I need to go to bed. Paul wrote a really good book that I've been reading called Detective Perez, Welcome to Rust City. There's 2. I'm about halfway through. And my thought is this might be the only fun thing I get to do between comic pages. But I will tell you, it's super fun. It's a pretty incredible book. Just saying. And it's pretty affordable, so you guys should check that out. Paul said it. So I woke up about an hour after you finished your stream last night. Oh, cool. That's funny. I'm going to go to sleep about the time you, I don't know. I don't know what time it is for you, Paul. He said your comic pages are fun. Well, they'll be more fun when I finish them, but I spend way too much time. Let's see. Way too much time. Okay, so that is number 2. We finished page 2. Not the finals, but just the thumbnails. Paul said, I've finished 8 new pages of my new comic. That's awesome, dude. I've finished like 25 of the 2 Stories book 2, but I haven't. Are you saying in the time frame? Paul, you're so quick. Are you saying you finished 8 pages in the time frame that I've been doing these 2 thumbnails and roughs? Because that's pretty incredible. Paul is really fast and good. Okay, so let's see what we got. I need to double check. Man, I'm starting to speak delusionally, but I need to double check where I'm at here on the script and then call it a night. So what do we got? Where is my script? There it is. Okay. Far beneath the surface of the water, Bro sinks, arms and legs flailing. He exhales his last breath in a cloud of bubbles. His body relaxes and he floats suspended. His fight is over. Limp body drifts, eyes open in an unseeing stare. Oh, nice. And then Paul said, yeah, since I talked to you a couple weeks ago. That's awesome, dude. Nicely done. Paul was saying, you need to sleep for a week. I can't. But I need to sleep for like 4 or 5 hours at least. Okay, I'm going to go crash. I will talk to you guys when I'm on next, which will probably be in the afternoon or noon. Have a good night. Thanks again to everybody who's watched this live. It's been fun and encouraging. And I don't know, we'll get into page 4. Rick Grimes, his boss, said, I don't normally comment, but I've been watching Artcasters for a while. When do you sleep? Well, right now is when I'm going to sleep, but I appreciate it. Rick Grimes' boss. I appreciate you commenting, and I appreciate also that you watch Artcasters a lot. So that's cool. I'm gonna crash now because this is like 5 a.m. I usually get to bed by like 2 a.m. So problem is yesterday I lost 6 hours and I kind of had to make up for it. So all right, have a good night, and I appreciate you guys all, and I will see you on the next live stream. Bye.